gotta keep the fire burning. Chase your dream, don't hesitate. Keep on dreaming, keep on yearning. Don't let the flame die while you wait.
Good evening, everyone, and good snowy evening, at least here in the Northeast. And welcome to Artist Showcase with Ralph. We had a double header lined up for you tonight. Unfortunately, our first guest tonight, Bill McConney, is not feeling well. He's been dealing with some health issues for a while now, and tonight was not a good night for him. So Bill won't be joining us. But the second half of the show was Michael Reisman. And Michael is actually with us now, so we're gonna roll this thing out, and we're gonna get a bonus hour of Michael Reisman. It looks like, which is pretty cool. I also have the Lehigh Valley Angel with me.
Yes,
say hi, Angie.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Angie was gonna help me walk through this first hour or so without Bill, but obviously, like I said, Michael's with us now. So we're going to do a little bit of everything. We have a lot of things to talk about tonight. One thing I want to get out before we even get started, and we'll probably mention it a couple more times during the course of the evening, is Steve Jones, founder of Rock in the Valley, has set up a Facebook page called Save Lehigh Valley Restaurants and Venues. And the whole purpose of the page is to get information out to the public about the restaurants and venues, especially those that support live music throughout the Lehigh Valley, that are going through some tough times right now with the new restrictions from the governor. Many of them have had to close their dining rooms and offer just takeout and curbside pickup, and maybe in some instances delivery. And anyhow, the page is set up for these restaurants and venues. If you're a band or a solo musician or whatever, you can advertise all you want on the Rock in the Valley fan page, post there all you like. But on this Save the Restaurants page, please reserve that for just the restaurants. If you want to post about your favorite restaurant, by all means, please do so. The more that we get the word out, the more that people can know where to go to support these small businesses that are obviously struggling and are going to be struggling for probably the next several months. I mean, we talked, it's only 3 weeks that the governor shut them down. But it goes beyond that. And a lot of these places that are now not offering indoor dining because of the restrictions are places that also do a great deal to support live music. And just to name a couple, and I'm not to slight anybody, but you have Easton Wine Project in Easton, and you have the Iron Mule in Easton, and you have Insurrect Distillery up in Lehighton, and just several other places that support live music all the time and can't right now. So, we need to do our best to support them and keep them employees going during these tough times. So, please, by all means, visit that Facebook page. And again, it's a group.
And let's continue to try to keep small businesses open and keep that love flowing, because, our favorite businesses are local and we need to go ahead and support them. They've been there for us when we've gone ahead and been working late, and it's like, what are we going to do for dinner? We relied on them. They need to count on us.
Yep, most definitely. And again, it's Saving Lehigh Valley Restaurants and Venues is the group on Facebook. And, if you know the venue owners or the managers of the venues, please encourage them to join that group and advertise as much as they'd like on that group page. That's what it's there for. And we want to make sure that, we get them in the spotlight as much as we can, especially during these troubling times. So at some point tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the shows that we have going on every week. We're going to talk about our Christmas show, which is coming up next Tuesday. And we are going to talk about the possibility of a New Year's Eve show. But that's still in the works. Not 100% sure that's going to come off, but we're trying to come up with a way to make it happen. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But right now, I want to Michael in, say hello to everybody while he's waiting patiently for me to stop talking. I try not to talk too much, Michael, but hey, it is partially a talk show. So here we go.
Then we'll have to
Everybody
do
say
that.
hello to Michael.
Wrap it up, Ralph.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Ralph. Hey, Ralph. Hi, Ange. How's it
Hi,
going?
Mike.
How's everybody doing?
We're doing great,
Great.
man. It is a pleasure to have you on. We had, for those who are not familiar, we had a little mix up a couple weeks ago, and ended up having to cancel the show last minute. Um, and that's kind of why we were doing a doubleheader thing tonight, because there was an open spot at 9 o'clock. So rather than push Michael back to the end of the line and bring him in late January, um, we thought let's get him back on as quickly as we possibly could. And tonight's the night. Now look, you got plenty of time, so I expect to hear some awesome music coming from you. Of course,
I
all the
don't
music coming
expect
from
I
you
know.
is awesome.
Thank
And
you.
Michael I guess, is Acoustic Mayhem, correct?
Well, in part.
In part.
So, Acoustic Mayhem is my group, and I do a lot of the writing and producing, and booking and everything that goes along with having a group. But I also do my own stuff, and mostly when I play out, especially in 2020, it's solo gigs when I have the opportunity. And so, but yeah, Acoustic Mayhem is actually a group and an idea that's been around here and there since the late '90s, early 2000s. I'm originally from New Jersey, and when I was in college, we started playing acoustic music around the house in New Brunswick, and I was in a couple bands back then, and in the late 90s, I, along with a bunch of my friends who I play music with, moved out to the Pacific Northwest. And we lived in Western Washington, in Seattle, and in a town called Bremerton, where we continued to make music. And so I lived out there for 14 years, and most of with the exception of a couple other groups that I played with, Acoustic Mayhem was my thing, and I would put a group around it. And so since 2012, I've been back on the East Coast. I'm in the Valley now, so happily and gratefully to be on this side of the Delaware. And so and a lot of the folks that I was out west playing music with have also moved back to the East Coast. And so what I get as a result is acoustic mayhem that can play live here, but I also had, because of the day and age of technology that we live in, can make music with all of the acoustic mayhem uh, alum uh, all over the country, which is really what the new Acoustic Mayhem LP is all about. Did you like that segue? So Acoustic Mayhem now has a new CD out, a new album called Miller Hill, and it features the musicians I play with in Acoustic Mayhem here, and many of the musicians that I've played with in Acoustic Mayhem from all over the country. And so it's a really great. It turned out to be a really nice project, and it's got hella players on it. It just has great players on it. So that's kind of the story of Acoustic Mayhem. And in between all that stuff, I do my own stuff, and I had put a solo record out a couple of years ago that had most of all those same cats on it. But Ralph, when you have a band and you are a band and you do a thing as a band, the creative process, the organizational process, and how that all comes together is different than when you have a solo project and you do everything at your own individual pace on your own time as you would, and it's much less of a committee. And so, even though A lot of the same guys help me do my solo stuff when we record and produce studio stuff. It's always a little bit different than how it would have been if it was the band. So that's kind of the
Cool.
gist of it.
Awesome. You say Miller Hill just came out? Oh,
Yeah. So Miller Hill is available right now to pre-order on CD on Bandcamp. You can download it on Bandcamp. You can stream it on Bandcamp, and then over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'm sure it's going to start popping up on the streaming services as well.
awesome.
But it's the pre-sale of the actual CDs that allow for that a project like that to cover costs and so on and so forth, which you
Yeah.
know because you have a new record out.
Absolutely. Yeah, it comes out Friday. So
Awesome.
yeah, same thing. Yeah, you can pre-order it on Bandcamp now, but it pops out everywhere on Friday. So, yep, I'll have to check you out on Bandcamp. And is it under Acoustic Mayhem on Bandcamp?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
It's acousticmayhem.bandcamp.com.
Okay. And do you have music out on other streaming services like Spotify or?
So
Cool.
my solo stuff and Acoustic Mayhem are on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, everything.
I think I looked up Acoustic Mayhem on Spotify at one point in time and came up with a couple options, so I wasn't sure if it was you or not.
The only there's a what do we got? I got an EP up there called 21st Century Song for Acoustic Mayhem, and then our first LP, which we did 15 years ago. It's called Jersey City.
Okay, cool. All right, so look at those as opposed to just looking under Acoustic Mayhem. And all right, fantastic. So I'm sure you had. I know we talked. Well, we emailed back and forth, and I asked you to about 4 songs that you were ready to play for us. I hope you have a couple more in your back pocket.
Oh, you know me, Ralph. I'll play my stuff all night long.
Okay, there you go. Cool. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're going to play first, and then let us hear it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and then I'm gonna back out because I want to watch this and hear you the best.
right on, Angie. Thank you. Thanks for being part of this. Thanks for having me.
Thank
So
you for sharing the love.
so the caveat with all this stuff is that I'm going to sit here with an acoustic guitar and play my stuff. I'm going to play a bunch of Acoustic Mayhem stuff off the new record, but all of the material on the CD is fully arranged, and not all of it's acoustic. A lot of it's electric, and so what I would say to listeners is, if you like what you hear, definitely make your way to hearing it. Right now, you can hear it on Bandcamp, just to hear the difference of what it's like when you've got one guy singing his tunes on an electric guitar like he's playing in a folk bar, versus a fully arranged, fully mixed band playing the same stuff. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it makes a world of difference, and sometimes I have a hard time coming back to the acoustic. That's where it was written, but then you arranged it differently when you got the the full band sound together and everything, and then when you go play a solo acoustic again, you're like, oh my God, there's something missing. So yeah, definitely give the whole thing a listen. It's I'm sure it's great both ways though.
That's what she said. All right. Cool.
Not
So
touching that.
she said that too. Does that sound in tune to you?
Yeah,
Oh,
might be out. One of the strings might be a little out.
Yeah, I think it's. There we go. Sorry to make you wait.
If you used elixirs, you wouldn't have that problem.
I think these are elixirs.
Did I just plug elixirs?
There we go.
Definitely my favorite string.
this is called White Mountain Song.
Cool.
Oh mister, tell me what do you see of magic and mercy? How can I decree? Beneath the lightning and thunder, I falter below, and the thickness of the air just makes my feet move slow. Won't you sing me another White Mountain song? Sing it till the power comes back on. Sing it till the candles burn out of light. Sing it till the morning comes. Oh children, how can I believe the blame your asunder's got to do with me? I come to this country, I swallow my pride, with the pedal to the metal of the mule I ride. Won't you sing me another White Mountain song? Sing it till the power comes back on. Sing it till the candles burn out of light. Sing it till the morning comes. What have I done you so bad? What else I could give you, you already had. I paid you in silver, I paid you in gold, in sums that wore me down until the land got sold. Won't you sing me another White Mountain song? Sing it till the power comes back on. Sing it till the candles burn out of light. Sing it till the morning comes. Won't you sing it till the morning comes? Won't you sing it till the morning? Sing it till the morning. Sing it till the morning comes.
Oh, going a little country, huh?
Yeah, it's mostly a country record
Cool.
at this
Cool.
point. Does that sound okay? Is that out there in the Zoom world?
It as you turned a little bit, sometimes the guitar was a little soft, but
All right.
other than that, yeah,
I'll try
it
to
wasn't
balance
bad.
it out with the ear.
Wasn't bad at all. What's your website?
I don't have a website. I
You
don't
don't
do
have
a
a website.
website.
Okay.
It's everything is through Facebook.
Okay.
So the best way to hear music and see videos and even get in touch with us with requests or booking or whatever, you go through our Facebook page, which is Original Acoustic Mayhem.
Original Acoustic Mayhem on Facebook. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
We'll put that up on the screen so that viewers can see that throughout the course of the show tonight. And,
awesome. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Want to make sure that we can find you wherever, and then of course on Bandcamp and Spotify. So, and we'll mention that a couple more times during the show too. Make sure.
Oh, I'm so grateful for that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem, man.
So we're all getting snowed in, huh?
Yeah. So it seems. Snowmageddon is here. Watching the Weather Channel a little bit this afternoon just to see where their forecast might take us, and I think they said in Allentown last year we had a total of 5.1 inches of snow the entire year, and
right, we're getting that.
We were already at 6 inches when they were talking about it like 2 hours ago or an hour and a half ago or something like that. So, yeah, I guess we're getting the karma from the last couple of years where we didn't have any snow at all. So, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So I know we want to mostly talk about music, and I mostly want to talk about music, but I do I run I run early childhood education programs for a YMCA out in Jersey, and we've been working our tails off since the end of May, providing emergency and essential childcare for essential workers, and um, and for the community, and dealing with all of the COVID-19 regulations, health and safety stuff, keeping classrooms clean, keeping screening people in and out, and so this. We closed early today for the snow, and we're closed tomorrow. And I'm telling you, man, for those of us, and I'm sure that a lot of teachers and educators all over the place are feeling the same way. Like, tonight and tomorrow is just going to be a nice midweek break.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. It has not been easy. Um, Unfortunately for healthcare workers and stuff, they're not getting any break at all.
They don't get no break. Nope.
Nah, in fact, with the snow and everything, they may be stuck where they are and not be able to go home at the end of their shift because their shift might not end. Who knows?
Yeah.
Um,
No, you make a great point.
so,
Anyway.
hopefully everybody's staying safe and kicking back with a nice cold beverage or a nice warm beverage and
Hmm.
enjoying the show. That's the whole idea. So, and hopefully we'll continue to do that, and hopefully we'll continue to provide more and more outlets for musicians in a time when they can't necessarily play live.
Yeah,
More
I'm
spots for
lucky.
people to go.
I'm lucky. I have a full-time career, and passion, and studies in other things besides music, and have been fortunate and privileged enough to be able to grow a career that allows me to the comforts of home and family. Um, and that despite my despite my best efforts over the years to make music my sole source of income, I just I that's never truly fruited. And so I'm lucky. I kind of get the best of both worlds right now. Like, I get that, and I get to do this. I get to do this with you. It's a total rare privilege for me, and I'm so grateful for it. I really am. And so but I also am thinking about everybody. I'm thinking about the musicians who are out of work. I'm thinking about the service industry folks who are out of work. I'm thinking about teachers who are busting their asses, and I'm thinking about all those healthcare workers who you just mentioned. So, um, but we should probably shift gears so that we can keep having a good time here.
Yeah,
But in the back of our minds, we're playing for everybody, right? We're playing for all those folks. And so,
absolutely.
yeah.
So what do you got for us next?
So I can do. So when I love talking about this. I really enjoy songwriting. It is the reason for me still doing music. I mean, I play a little piano, and I studied drums my whole life, and I've played drums in bands my whole life, and I've always played music. But when I was in my early 20s, I picked up the guitar. I lived. It was even before that. When I was in college at Rutgers, I, I I had this amazing experience where I lived in this house, and everybody in the house played the guitar but me. I played the drums, right? So I got to be in their bands, which was so fantastic. And I've always sang, and I've always enjoyed singing. But I didn't play guitar at the time. I didn't play very much piano at all at the time. I never wrote anything. But I had amazing pickers around me for this couple of few years that I lived in this house. And eventually, like it like sunk in, and I was able to pick up the guitar and start making my fingers do. You play your first D minor with those first weak fingers, and I'll never forget that. And so, I that was the beginning of me writing songs. And writing songs is my favorite thing, that I do. Next to this, obviously next to the stuff I was spending time with my family. But as far as personal passions go, like writing songs and writing lyrics is just the most artistic, creative, expressive thing that I've ever done in my life, and I'll never not do it. And so, so when I get to play them, it's like the most special thing ever, because, or if anybody actually listens, I mean, that's like, like you play those bar gigs, you're playing a lot of covers, and you slip your stuff in. You kind of just like
Uh-huh.
you slip your stuff in, and then somebody walks up to your tip jar with a couple of bucks, and they're like, "Hey, whose song was that?" And you're like, "Oh, that was mine." They're like, "That was a good song." It's like that feeling.
Yeah.
That feeling will last me a good couple of days. I'll
Yeah.
ride that. I'll ride that right into my next you know Thursday night gig where there's like two people there.
Yeah. And those gigs happen every now and then, don't they?
What, the crappy ones?
Yeah, the ones where there's only two people there.
Oh, I, I'm embarrassed to say I've probably played more of those than the other ones. But that's okay. I don't mind taking it. I'll take the dues for everybody else out there.
uh, I remember when we first, obviously that in March everything got shut down, but then as they gradually began to reopen things, and uh, we went from the, I guess back then there was colors, it was red, and then we went to yellow, where um, you could have 25% of your normal capacity for indoor dining, and in the bars and stuff. And somebody, can't remember who it was, but it cracked me up. But it's like, hey man, we can do this. Been playing at 25% capacity since 1995 or something like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, that, like, I felt the same way. So during the summer, at the in the first half of this long haul that we're all going through, um, I started to do weekly Facebook live shows.
Uh huh.
And I kind of gave myself this challenge, and I was able to pull it off. So I did 8 consecutive weekends. Most of them I think were Saturdays. Most of them were Saturdays. I did a Friday here or a Sunday there, but I played 8 consecutive weeks, playing my stuff, playing covers, playing requests, and I played a total of 100 songs, no repeats. And uh, and and so that was fun, and that's something I would never have been able to do, or it wouldn't have occurred to me to do, had we not been in this particular predicament. And at the same time, there you are, right, sitting there on Facebook, and like you watch the ticker go up, right? And you're like, ooh,
Uh
5 people, 6 people, 7. At one point, I think there was like 30 people. I was like, I don't think 30 people have ever shown up to see me play on any one given night.
huh. Yeah. And those Facebook things were hit or miss. I did a few of them myself, and it was one, you have six people watching the whole time, and another one you're like, where did these 30 people come from? And
Right, and then they watch later, and you can hear
yeah,
yourself later, and like it's like watching, it's like listening into tape or watching tape, right? You're like, okay, you learn from that, and make some improvements, make some
yeah,
tweaks, try to do it better next time, try
yeah.
different kinds of audio configurations. I think I blew a PA speaker trying to do the full on one man band thing. I sent like 4 or 5 instruments through a mixer and then into a looper, and so that I could just be the one man band playing guitar and singing over my own drums and my own bass lines. And I think it got crazy out of hand. And the next day I was taking the damn speaker apart, trying to put it back together.
Oh,
And
jeez.
anyway,
Nice.
I started talking about songwriting. Um, so the one of the songs that we're really proud of on the new record, and I say record loosely, I say record because it's fun to say record, but this was a completely digitally produced album. Not a single note was recorded to tape, so there'll be no record.
Yeah.
But I'm calling it a record because the record is a document, and it's a document. So anyway,
Yeah.
one of the tunes that we're really proud of is a song I wrote for my wife, about her grandparents. Her grandfather was in the Navy during World War II, and he had met his future wife at one point, and then enlisted in the Navy and went away to serve. And they hadn't seen each other for quite some time. Coincidentally, this was in the Pacific Northwest, where I eventually lived at one point, but unrelated. And so his name is Bill, and my wife Laura, her grandmother's name is Rosie, and it's the story of how Bill and Rosie did were separated by the war for 6 months, at the beginning of their courtship, and then through some happenstance, obviously the narrative in the song, there's some writers liberties taken, but the general gist of the song is that they ran into each other out on the street in Seattle, socially, and reunited, and were never apart again for the rest of their lives. And so the piece that goes along with that, I'll tell the rest of the story after I sing it. Anyway, the song is called "Pour Me a Rosie." A lifetime's worth of memories come shooting by like cards. And as they fall together, they compel me near and far. But more than any other one sustains the years of life. It's the answer to your question posed on your way out tonight. So pour me a rosy, and I'll tell you the story of the night I found your grandpa at the end of World War II. It was still considered a war, even though the war was over. If it wasn't but for Rosie, there just might not be you. A willful sailor posted to the brig at Bremerton, and we were all just waiting once the I'd gone out for a beer at the movies in Seattle. They announced the end of battle, and the house lights came ablaze as people flooded in the streets. In the third row sat my sailor in his chivalry and
All right, it looks like we may have lost connection with Michael. We will
Yeah, I
try
see
to get
that.
him back
That was
ASAP.
absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, I love him, Ralph.
we're gonna have to get him to sing that song over again, I guess.
Yes.
Um,
There he is. He's back.
oh, he's back.
Woo!
Okay,
What
there we
happened?
go.
What happened?
You just dropped out altogether.
Oh, I just totally went away.
Yep, you sure did.
See, I told you, not even the internet likes me.
Yeah.
That was so pretty. You have to play me on. You have to play that again.
I'll
It's
try.
got to be the snow because there's so much snow coming down, and like this is so beautiful. Like I can't remember the last time we actually had a white December,
I
like a
know.
week before Christmas.
It's true. It's
So
true.
you've got to play that again.
All right. All right. I'll start from the beginning. Should I start from the beginning? I guess I should start from the beginning.
Absolutely. Take it from the top, man.
I'll take it from the top, and I'll pick up the tempo a little bit in the hopes that we get through it. Ready? A lifetime's worth of memories come shooting by like cards. And as they fall together, they compel me near and far. But more than any other one sustains the years of life. It's the answer to your question posed on your way out tonight. So pour me a rosy, and I'll tell you the story of the night I found your grandpa at the end of World War II. It was still considered AWOL, even though the war was over. If it wasn't but for Rosie, there just might not be you. A willful sailor posted to the brig at Bremerton, and we were all just waiting once the bombs had hit Japan. I hadn't seen my sailor in what seemed like half a year, but there's no way he could have known I'd gone out for a beer. At the movies in Seattle, they announced the end of battle, and the house lights came ablaze as people flooded in the streets. In the third row sat my sailor, in his chivalry and valor, and with glancing eyes and cheerful cries, he swept me off my feet. So pour me a rosy, and I'll tell you the story of the night I found your grandpa at the end of World War II. It was still considered AWOL, even though the war was over. If it wasn't but for Rosie, there just might not be you. We were gallivanting lovers as the night turned into day, with the hope for new beginnings. No more words were left to say. I held on to my sailor, though we hadn't thought it through, 'cause Bill got 6 more months at sea for breaking his curfew. At the movies in Seattle, they announced the end of battle, and the house lights came ablaze as people flooded into the streets. In the third row sat my sailor, in his chivalry and valor, and with glancing eyes and cheerful cries, he swept me off my feet. So pour me a rosy, and I'll tell you the story of the night I found your grandpa at the end of World War II. It was still considered AWOL, even though the war was over. If it wasn't but for Rosie, there just might not be a you. If it wasn't but for Rosie, there just might not be a you. So let me tell you what a Rosie is. So, a Rosie, okay? A Rosie, as I learned from my wife early on, and from her grandparents, who were alive when Laura and I first got together, is when you want a refill, right? When you're drinking your wine and you want a refill, but you don't want everybody else in the family to think you're like drinking a lot, so you just get like 2 fingers of wine, and so you can get somebody to pour you a rosy. And so when my wife was growing up around her grandparents, Grandma Rosie would say, Laura, pour me a rosy. And so we do the same thing around our house. She'll say, Michael, pour me a rosy. And so anyway, so that's the story of Rosie. Thank you for letting me do that here, by the way, or having me do that here.
Now, thanks for going through it again, because you're sitting there playing it, thinking we're listening, and you're not there. You disappeared. And I don't know what happened.
I'm not surprised. It's okay. I'm easy.
A good old internet sometimes is not as friendly as you would like it to be, but it is what you can do. It is what it is.
Hey, we're back.
And thankfully, we got you back really quick, so that was a good thing. And
right,
yeah. So you got to play the song twice. So if you were going to make a mistake during the first time around, you had the opportunity to make sure you didn't make that mistake the second time around.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sure, that's good. That's good logic, right?
The problem is that if you do that enough at gigs, they stop inviting you back.
Yeah, true. In a format like this, you can do it, and it's okay.
Yeah. And tell the stories. We can tell our songwriter stories and stuff.
Yeah, because the only time you really get to do that in any type of setting is when you're playing a show that's strictly for songwriters and in a venue that's strictly for songwriters, and
which you have afforded me on a number of occasions. One of my favorite gigs in this area is the Cave Brewing gig that I've played, where we're directed. Just you got to play originals. You can't play any covers. I jump at that.
Yeah, and I do too. Unfortunately, we don't get a whole lot of those, and there's a couple venues that I've played at locally that are closed right now because of everything that's going on with COVID, and one of them especially is Chaplin's down in Spring City, and unfortunately they had to close back in March because that's what they were, a live music venue. So they didn't do anything else. They weren't a bar, they weren't a cafe. They did serve food during the concerts and stuff like that, but they were basically a small concert hall. And so what they did was bring in folks like you and me, and they were ticketed events, and maybe you didn't make as much money as you'd like to, but of course you got an opportunity to sell merchandise and stuff like that, and people were there to listen to your music. They weren't there to listen to covers. They were there for original music. So if they came, that's what they were expecting, and then if they liked what they heard, they bought merchandise. They took the music home with them. So, what you didn't make on ticket sales, a lot of times you made up on merchandise sales, and that was a good thing.
And nowadays we can make our own merchandise a lot cheaper than we used to. I mean, it's just amazing. It's amazing, like just to be able to record and produce an album, on a laptop.
Yeah, right.
It's amazing.
I mean, you still have to have the right software, and you still have to have the right equipment. I think I mean, if you're doing, you could have the right software. You could have Pro Tools on your laptop, and if you're doing it with a cheap microphone, it's still going to sound right. So, you have to kind of be careful what you do. I have Cakewalk, which I'm trying to learn, and hopefully I'll get a little help from Tony on that, and which is basically Pro Tools for free. So it's owned by BandLab, and they put it out for free, and that's basically what it is. It's Pro Tools. It's just it doesn't cost you $1,000.
Amen.
So that makes it even cheaper, because a lot of people go, okay, I gotta get Pro Tools if I'm going to record my own stuff, and then they spend $1,000 on the program, and or I think it's $600.
Yeah, I try not to spend anything on anything.
Yeah, so
only on the bare necessities.
Right. Exactly.
But what's fun is learning how to do that. It was learning the process,
Right.
learning how to get good levels, learning how to mix, learning how to master. I mean,
Right.
it's an incredibly time consuming process. But then
Absolutely.
once you hit that curve, right? It's easily repeatable, and you can get on a roll, and you can be in. This is like my home. This is my home office. It's tiny. It's like a small bedroom. It's probably not even big enough to be a bedroom, and most of the stuff that I'm putting out nowadays was recorded like right here in this room.
Yeah. And you know, I'm working towards it, but I'm not yet. So, you know, everything I put out so far is done in the studio. And no complaints about that. Um, I did most of the work on the last album and all of the work on my first album at Holland Studios in Milford, New Jersey. So, and
Oh, right on.
Michael Carr is an excellent tech, and he does a great job with everything.
Where in Milford is that? I work in Milford quite a
God,
bit.
it's on some little tiny back road. Basically, it's the basement of his house, which he
Cool.
converted into a studio, and he's got the control room and a vocal room and a live room.
I love
And
Milford's a cute little town. I like it there. I run a little preschool out of the church there, and
yeah, it's a little tough to get to on like today, but
yeah, that's why I didn't
with all
go.
the
I didn't go there
winding
today.
roads and hills, and you know,
And the
I wouldn't
bridges
even,
that go out on a regular basis.
yeah, I wouldn't even think about going there today, but on a day like today. But yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's a nice studio, and like I said, Michael does a great job. So yeah, it's more expensive than doing it yourself, but it's also going to get done right. So until I'm at the point where I feel like I'm going to get it done right, then I'll keep going. I'll keep going to the studio. Um, but yeah, I'm working towards that, and hopefully we'll get there shortly. So how many songs are on the album?
What?
How many songs are on the album?
10.
10. Okay, cool.
There's 10 original tunes, and a lot of them I wrote with my partner Zach, who I've been playing music with since the late '90s, and so he's got a number on there he wrote. Then we've got a few numbers on there we wrote together. There's a few numbers on there that I wrote, and it's just a great collaboration. I love writing with other people who I really connect with. I've been in a couple other bands over the years where I've had a writing partner, and that stuff is always just, I mean, it's just, oh, for me, my opinion is richer than the stuff I write by myself. Even though I like the stuff I write by myself just fine, but like when you write with somebody else, it's like this whole other thing. It's this whole other beast, a whole other kind of thinking, a whole other kind of project, and so I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed that over the years as well.
It's got to be the right person, though. It's got to be somebody you click with, and
Oh yeah,
you know,
in almost like in a very intimate chemical kind of way.
yeah,
And it's like that, when you put a band together and you really work hard as a band, then you have that relationship, and it's like having four other girlfriends. um you know it just is. It's like a big marriage, and this songwriting partnership is similar. But like, I've been lucky. I've had partners over the years who we can just be like, hey, let's get together and write something, and we sit down, and 3 hours later we have something, and it's like,
yeah,
you're always like, holy crap, like how we just did that. It's
cool.
just like the best.
Yeah, when you find the right person to do that with, then the things seem easier. So, what are you playing there, Martin?
Yeah, this is a Martin DCX1E. And so it is, I think, probably the last one of these built in Nazareth before they started building these in Mexico. And so, but I've had this since 2005, and
Cool.
and it's it's got a nice solid top, but but the sides and the back and the neck are composite, and so it's a beater.
It's exactly the same model as mine.
Really?
Yeah.
A DC X1E?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
You're the
I
you're
used
the only
to play
one I've
my
ever met with.
Ovation. I used to play my Ovation all the time, and until I came across the Martin, and I picked it up used,
Mhm.
but I love it. I love it. I love the sound I get out of it. Love the feel of it. The fretboard is so much different than on the Ovation, and
Oh my God. Well, so I mean, you're talking about so ovations tend to be very give you bright highs, right? Lots of
yeah,
push in the brights.
yeah,
And in my experience, there's no acoustic guitar that gives you more bottom than the
yeah,
Martin.
yeah,
That I mean, and it's just there's like and the Taylors are gorgeous and wonderful and they sound amazing, but they just don't have that same like that bottom that a Martin
right.
has.
Yeah, I actually had to switch strings because I use elixirs no matter what, but I always forget which one is which, but there's the polyweb and the nano web. I think it's the nano web that are just soft and warm,
Hmm.
and they're a perfect string for the Ovation because you're right. The Ovation's if you put a bright string on the Ovation, it's way too bright.
Way too bright.
It's like
Yeah.
Um, but when I put the nano web strings on the Martin, it was like it took away from the quality of the sound. Like it was too deep. You know what I mean? So I went to the
Go
polyweb,
figure.
which is a brighter string, but you still get that nice bottom from the polyweb. So it depends on what type of string you use. But I won't use anything but elixirs, which apparently there's a shortage now, so you can't find them anywhere. But I have a couple packs left. Hopefully they'll last me until they start producing them again. And I won't mention the store, but I ran to several stores one day looking for elixirs, and I went to every place I could possibly think of, and they were all out, and they all said the same thing. The plant was shut down. They haven't been able to produce them. We don't know when we're going to get elixirs back in the store. And then the last place I went to went, oh yeah, I have those strings for you, $26.99
For one pack?
Yeah. And I went, that's funny. There's $16.99 everywhere else. Yeah, well, you getting them anywhere else? I'm like, no, but I'm not getting them here either. Have a nice day. Like, are you kidding me? You're gonna gouge me an extra $10 because nobody else has them?
Oh, come on! It's the American way. It's capitalism, baby.
Yeah, it's 2020.
It's 2020.
Welcome to 2020.
You got some 2020 strings.
Where you can't buy toilet paper, paper towels, or elixirs, apparently. So, oh well.
Well, I'm enjoying this kind of intimate storytelling atmosphere. I was going to do another tune that's lyrically thick, if you will.
Cool.
So this is the most recent thing that I've written. This is the only thing that I've written that could be remotely considered like, a COVID song, because just like everybody else, we were all having like new, interesting, if not shut-in experiences, and so this is a reflection on what this year's been like for me and my family, and I'm sure that it's somewhat relatable to other folks. It's called Amen. There's a woman I know who's heard it all told, that the fruit don't fall far from the tree. As she wanders the halls, she can't seem to recall, in this forest, well, which one is me? Reconstruct the routine, try to keep it all clean, bring some order to all that's come around. When the chaos ensues, she can try not to lose all her faith in the strings she is bound. Amen to that, my brother. Imagine that my lover could read the minds of others. What could be found? Another hour goes by, but doesn't seem to know why. She spends one more minute in this gun-loving, God-fearing town. She always sees the best in me, but I couldn't tell you what's worse. A feller like me tends to like to be seen, but doesn't quite like to rehearse. Every long bitter fall from the top of the wall is met with confusion in kind. You can hope that you learn, in spite of the burn, that it works itself out every time. Amen to that, my brother. Imagine that my lover could read the minds of others. What could be found? Another hour goes by, but doesn't seem to know why. She spends one more minute in this gun-loving, God-fearing town. Does fulfilling the needs of the many mean conceding desires for some? When a proper display of ubiquity puts the common man under his thumb. When a breath of fresh air in the morning meets head on with the first drink of night. Do the days seem to roll up together into something that just don't feel right? Just don't feel right. When the summer arrives, we'll be glad we're alive, but unable to say what comes next. With the break in the time, we are nearly divine, though it's good for us all to connect. If I could get it all done before my setting sun breaks the line between sky and the sea, would the fallout remain like a boring refrain in the hope that you're still here by me? Amen to that, my brother. Imagine that my lover could read the minds of others. What would be found? Another hour goes by, but doesn't seem to know why. She spends one more minute in this gun-loving, God-fearing town. In this gun-loving, God-fearing town. In this gun-loving, God-fearing town. In this gun-loving, God-fearing town.
Very nice, very nice. I've heard you play that song a couple times.
Yeah, I play it. I think I play it almost every time I play anywhere now because it's my newest song, right? We always want to play our newest song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I hope that you like it now that you've heard it a
Absolutely.
couple
Do.
times. Yeah. I
That
you
was
know,
my first thought as soon as you started playing it. I was like, "Ooh, I like this song. Heard this before." So
yes. Yes. A a small a tiny tip of the hat to what it means to live in Pennsylvania um nowadays. So um anyway, thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you're just tuning into the show now, and maybe many of you are, since we were expecting Michael at 9 o'clock, Michael's been with us since 8 and entertaining us right along. Our first guest tonight, Bill McConney, was a little under the weather, not really able to perform tonight, so um, we had planned a few other things from 8 to 9 to get us to Michael's portion of the show, and luckily for us, Michael joined us right away. So um, which was much better than anything we had planned. So um, we would have continued to try
Stop.
to entertain you, but we got Michael, and so here we are on Michael's portion of the show now. And thanks for joining us. Um, and if you were not here at the very beginning, at 8 o'clock, there are some things that we want to talk about tonight, and I'll do that during the course of the show. But one of the things is it's a brand new group on Facebook called Save Lehigh Valley Restaurants and Venues. And it was created by Steve Jones, the founder of Rock in the Valley. Basically, it's for Lehigh Valley venues, restaurants, bars, breweries, whatever, um, to go ahead and do some advertising on that Facebook group. It's for the venues only. So if you're a musician, you're a band, whatever, you have always been welcome to post on the Rock in the Valley fan page. Um, you are not you're asked not to do that on the save the restaurants page because that's strictly for the Lehigh Valley restaurants and venues, especially those that provide live music all the time. And many of them right now are uh, in a little bit of a tough spot because of the restrictions. They're unable to have inside dining. Many of them can't do outdoor music right now, so they're not doing live music at all. I'm not sure how outdoor seating's working right now. Excuse me, ma'am. Can you bring me another beer? And can you dust the snow off my table because it's getting my food really cold. Um, but
At
look,
least your
they're
beer will
trying.
stay cold.
Yeah. Um, but they do offer curbside pickup, carry out, and in some instances delivery. And I mentioned some places like Easton Wine Project and the Iron Mule, both in Easton, and Insurrection Distillery up in Lehighton. But you also have like the county seat, who does live music all the time. There are a couple places that actually had to close down. Um, like Rival Sports Bar has live music every weekend, but they're closed until January 4th or 5th. Um, Porter's Pub in Easton does live music, and they offer curbside pickup and outdoor in the snow dining. I guess I don't know how the outdoor snow dining is going right now, but please support those venues. If you know the venue owner or the manager of the venue, let them know about the new Facebook group so that they can do their advertising there. It's free. We just want to have a place for them to put everything in one spot. So, as a consumer, you can go to that one page and see a variety of different restaurants. If you have a favorite restaurant, post something about that restaurant on that page. By all means, but just like I said, if you're a band or a musician or a promoter of music or whatever, please keep that to the music page. The venue page, we want to keep that strictly for the venues. So that's where we're at. We're at with that. We do have a Christmas show coming up on December 22nd, which is next Tuesday night. We'll have 20 different artists on throughout the course of the evening, and that starts at 7 o'clock. Um, right here where you're viewing this right now. Um, if you missed the first half of the show and you want to cap on that, you can go to YouTube and you can check out the Rocking the Valley page on YouTube, where the show will be archived. It will also be archived with all the other shows that go on Rocking the Valley, or you can go to my YouTube channel tomorrow, which is Ralph Pagano Music on YouTube, and I have a playlist that is strictly Rocking the Valley shows. It's strictly artists like with Ralph shows that are archived so that you can see every single show that we've done um, from its inception. Um, I've just been doing this since October, so it's a fairly new show. Um, and we appreciate the fact that you're listening right now. We're going to bring Michael back in about 30 seconds here. Just one last thing. We may be doing a New Year's Eve show. That's kind of in the air right now. Angie and I had talked about this a little bit. We have some things in the works. We're hoping to be able to put together a show. If you are an artist and you find yourself sitting at home on New Year's Eve, not doing anything, and you'd like to come on the show and play a few songs, we're going to run the show we're talking about from 8 to a little after midnight. And we'd love to have you. So you can contact me at rpaganomusic@gmail.com, or you can contact Angie at LOL Valley Angel at Gmail
At Gmail.
at gmail.com. So email either one of us, and we'll be more than happy to get you set up to come on and do some entertaining. Um, and if you're interested in being on the show, then please let us know, and we'll be more than happy to get you on. Otherwise, please tune in. We'll be a lot better than Dick Clark. I mean, hey, I didn't say that, did I? Oops.
Shame on you.
Shame on me. Anyhow, let's go back to Michael.
All right. I'll see you
Right?
later.
And we'll recap that again real quick at the end of the show. Again, Michael, you can find him on Bandcamp at Acoustic Mayhem on Bandcamp, and you can also find it's Original Acoustic Mayhem.
Original Acoustic Mayhem on Facebook.
Original Acoustic Mayhem on Facebook. So please give it a like and a follow. Keep in touch with what Michael's got going on, and when we get to go out and play live again, please make it a point to get out and see him live. You can actually see Michael this Saturday. Am I correct?
Am I playing this Saturday?
Is it Saturday or Sunday?
I don't think I'm on the. I didn't.
Hey, you're on one day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm glad.
I'm playing this Saturday.
You know what?
In Bethlehem.
Yeah. While you're checking, while you're playing this next song, I will pull that document up and check which day it is. I think it's actually Sunday at 3:00.
Okay.
But,
I changed my my configuration for going out there and playing, and last time I went out there I had such a good time. Such a good time.
Well, it's
evidently I didn't play enough Christmas songs.
Says who?
I don't know, that guy who reached out to all of us.
Yeah, I'm gonna bite my tongue. Anyhow,
that's why I brought it up, so that you could say, I'm gonna bite my tongue.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do too. I'm gonna bite my tongue. Look,
whatever. I opened that show with Jingle Bells. I don't want to hear it.
Right. And it depends too on the audience. If you got a bunch of kids running around and you want to play a few extra Christmas songs, great. When I first set everything up and I talked to the powers that be at the Historic Society of Bethlehem, I asked them about Christmas music, and the answer I got was, nah, just tell them to play a standard set list. If they want to sprinkle in a couple of Christmas songs, great. So right there,
yeah, that's
I know one person, Stacy Gable, played almost all Christmas music. So
she played right before me, I think.
Yeah, and she played almost all Christmas music the time I saw her there. So, it's catered to the audience, number one. The last time I played there, I think I had half of the Neil Young Men Club standing in front of us shouting out, "Do you guys know Old Man? Do you guys know Heart of Gold?"
Oh my God, dude, you must have made bank.
Yeah. So
that's your wheelhouse. That's your wheelhouse, man.
We know that
my
song.
wheelhouse too.
We know that song, but I'm sorry, we have to play Jingle Bells right now. Or I'm sorry, we got Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer's next on the set list.
I played that too.
Like, you know, yes, it's Christmas in the quarter. Yes, people are going to want to hear Christmas songs.
And
when
there
there's a
ain't
bunch
nothing wrong with
running around,
there ain't nothing wrong with Christmas songs. But as an artist, right, you're
Right.
looking for any venue you can go air out your material, right?
uh-huh.
And get people just like catch somebody's ear, like they're gonna get in their car and put the Elvis Christmas album on, or pull up their favorite Foo Fighters album, or whatever it is they're doing. Like, it's your only chance to get out and get in somebody's ear, especially now that we're in the middle of this, you know, Corona nonsense.
Right. Well, while you're playing this song, I'm going to go ahead and look up.
You're gonna
The
find out
schedule.
if I'm playing a gig this weekend.
Well, you are playing. I just can't remember if it's Saturday or Sunday.
Okay, all right.
I'll look it up.
I don't even really know what I'm gonna play right now. But I will do another. I'll do another acoustic mayhem song off the new record. And so you mentioned there may be some new viewers jumping on right now, and so we should definitely remind them that the new acoustic mayhem album is out and available for pre-order on CD at Bandcamp, and the album is entitled Miller Hill. And the song Miller Hill, which is the first track on the album, is another one of those songwriter kind of trips down the ethereal memory lane. So there's different little parts of it. A piece about what it's like when you're growing up in your hometown, and a piece where you're like another piece where you kind of grow into out of your adolescence and into adulthood, and have to start taking things a little bit more seriously, much to my chagrin. And then there's a third verse that's a reflective part. But Miller Hill is the title Miller Hill, and the inspiration for the record. And so that and this is the first time I'm going on record with this, is a nod to a songwriter and guitarist that my friends and I had the pleasure of meeting and playing with for some years when we were out in Western Washington. And he's a picker from Virginia named K.W. Miller. And I don't know where one would find his music, but he is the best country singing, picking songwriter and guitar blazing son of a gun any of us have ever met or known. And he had a very deep influence on me. We played gigs together. We hosted open mics together. We were in a Who cover band together. And he really turned me on to old-timey country music, old school country music. So when I say country music, I mean Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard, and bluegrass pickers like Doc Watson and Bill Monroe. And you spent enough time in that guy's presence, and you start to feel it, even if you're if, like me, you were at the time I was in my 20s. I was a dreadlocked transplant Jewish boy from North Jersey. And so we named this record and this song after him. And his music is powerful and magical and wonderful, and not nearly as and our music doesn't even compare to his. But we try to make a good mimic of it with our stuff. So this is called Miller Hill. Long time ago, in between the life I lived and my life now, one buffalo, 30 thieves spraying out across the town. Maybe one will ride with me and the other will ride with you. Big muscle cars driving across the yard, racing to the top of Miller Hill. If you find me here in the morning, don't be obliged to wake me up. If you find me here in the morning, don't be surprised if I throw up. same bungalow, 20 flats. The blade begins to shape and curl. $1 would go, 30 cats making it their way into the world. Maybe you will stay with me, but that's not likely, my friend. No muscle cars, but they're real guitars, trying to hitch a ride to Miller Hill. If you find me here in the morning, don't be obliged to wake me up. If you find me here in the morning, don't be surprised if I throw up. Brakeman's boots and homemade juice, enough for you and I to share. She's a doll, but she won't call, making it more likely that I care. Gone back and forth so many times, there's no doubt where I come from. So many songs, so many rhymes, you gotta feed the demons when they come. Maybe you will stay with me and take me as I am. One lonely man who tries to understand, sitting at the top of Miller Hill. Brakeman's boots and homemade juice, enough for you and I to share. She's a doll, but she won't call, making it more likely that I care. If you find me here in the morning, don't be obliged to wake me up. If you find me here in the morning, don't be surprised if I throw up.
And that, my friend, is Miller Hill, the title track to the album, right?
That's right. That's right. The new Acoustic
Cool,
Mayhem
cool.
record. Yes, sir.
And just so you know, it's Saturday at 4 o'clock.
I'm playing Saturday at 4.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
This was that date that we juggled, and it's not on the original schedule.
Okay.
And you said something about play on a Saturday, and I flipped a
So
few
is
things
it-
around.
Is it Saturday at 4 or Saturday at 3?
Saturday at 4.
All right.
Yeah, the Saturday times are 2 and 4. The Sunday times were 1 and 3.
Okay.
Because they close at 6 on Sunday. Or no, they close at 5 on Sunday. They're open 11 to 5 on Sunday. Saturday, they're open until 8 o'clock.
Okay.
They don't open until 2. So,
Okay.
hence the 2 and the 4. So,
Okay. 4 o'clock on Saturday at the mill. I'll be there.
yeah. And
So
as
do you
long
hear
as
that,
can,
folks? In the Lehigh Valley, if you want to come out and support live music and support historic Bethlehem, come on out Saturday to the Luckenbach Mill. And there's a performer at 2, and I'll be playing at 4 o'clock. And I'll play your requests, and I'll play your Christmas jingles if I can. Bring your kids. I can do all kinds, right? Frosty the snowman had a jolly happy home with a corncob pipe and a button nose and 2 eyes made out of coal. Frosty the snowman is a fairy tale, they say. He was made of snow, but the children know how he came to life one day.
I made all the Christmas songs really simple for me. I looked up all the words on Ultimate Guitar. Let me get the lyrics. Because, I don't know. There's a standard verse to every Christmas song that every kid knows growing up. And then there's, the other 4 verses that nobody ever sings, So let me look up the lyrics, and then I just converted everything to G. Played everything in
Yeah.
the key of G. Done.
Yes. Yes, and one of my favorites is doing all three verses of Jingle Bells. People
Yeah.
usually never hear all three verses of Jingle Bells, and so that's
Mark and I did a show a week or so ago, and we played Jingle Bells, and I could only remember the first verse,
it.
and he could only remember the second verse. So we played the first and the second, and then we went. There's a third verse, but neither one of us know it, so we're done. you know,
And now
but
the
I
ground is white. Go it while you're young. Take the girls tonight and sing this sleighing song. Just get a bobtail bay, 240 at his speed. Hit him to an open sleigh and crack, you'll take the lead. Oh, that's the third verse.
that's the third verse. There you go. We play them so seldom, like you play them for a couple of weeks around Christmas, and then you forget about them for a year,
Mm-hmm.
and then you
Yeah,
go, "Oh
I bet
man!"
you could. I bet you could probably make a pretty good niche living if you played Christmas music exclusively year round.
You think? I
There's
think
got to
people
be.
would.
There's got to be some kind of. There's got to be some kind of audience for that in this day and
I
age.
I think at about April or May, people would be throwing stuff at you. You know what I mean?
Well, you can't go playing that in bars. I'm just saying, you just
Yeah.
like it's the you just go play gigs for the year-round Christmas club and Christmas in July, of course.
Yeah. Now, Christmas in July, that would be cool, but I don't know. If I hear Christmas music on the radio before Thanksgiving, I just turn it off. Call me Scrooge or whatever, but
No, there should be common, ethics and practices preventing that.
yeah, I mean, it's bad enough department stores put out Christmas decorations right after you get done celebrating July 4th. You know, like, can we slow down a little bit? There's more holidays in there. But, you know,
Yes.
everything's commercialized nowadays.
Right.
It is what
Right,
it
right,
is.
right. Right. It's like you put enough of your own music out there on the internet. One day you're going to be watching football and you're going to hear your song in a commercial.
Yeah. You think?
You're going to be like, "Wah! Where's mine?" And you're going to spend 2 weeks trying to figure out where yours is, and you're going to find out you clicked some button that said that they could steal it from you.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
Yep.
going to do another song. I'm going to keep going.
Cool.
I'm
Cool.
going to keep
Sounds
going.
great.
The people are here to sit. Oh, great. Excellent. Thank you. So let me do a couple of things off of the solo record. So my solo stuff is on Spotify and all the streaming services. I think it's even still on Bandcamp. I do have a few CDs left that I guess somebody could order if they wanted. But my this solo album I did a few years ago, I did a GoFundMe to build up some revenue or some investment around what it would cost for me to produce my own solo album in a studio with studio gear, paying a mixer, paying a master. And I built into that GoFundMe some money so that I could equip my own very, very modest studio. I mean, literally, the computer that I'm looking at for the Zoom is the computer I record on. And I've got a couple of monitor speakers, and I've got a really inexpensive interface, and I was able to get that stuff with the support that I received for the new record. For that record at the time, that was in 2017, and so the album that came out is called "Introducing Michael Reisman," which is me, and it's got guys from Acoustic Mayhem on it. It's got friends, but I tried to play as many of the instruments on it as I could to give it that solo feel. Like it when you harmonize with yourself in a recording, there's a certain kind of jelly that makes that is not the same as when you harmonize with your boys. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
your with your co-collaborators and with whoever it is you're singing. I mean, I say my boys because Acoustic Mayhem's all boys, and and we pride ourselves on our 3-part live. but but when I get to harmonize with myself, it's like it makes that like solo harmony jelly that is particular to when you do that. So anyway, so I
It's
there's a
also
couple.
not super easy.
No, I get no. Well, harmonizing in general isn't easy,
True,
right?
very true.
So, uh, so this is something that sounds really good on the record because it sounds like I got a full band playing around me. Um, but I like to play it acoustic because this is what it sounded like when I wrote it. And so this is a song about so on Wall Street in the city, you got your finance high rollers, right? But then just under those guys is that second tier of like upper management Wall Street guys. And those guys, they live in Hoboken and they party in the Poconos. Well, Abuela stands out on the corner, waiting for the light to change. She's rocking the double stroller with a baby in a sling. It was hard to roll out early, but the trains are running on time. If I make my 11:30, I'll make a couple of extra dimes. It'll pay for my new clothes and my wife's artificial nose. And we'll party in the Poconos. Well, the streets are overcrowded and the brownstone needs a shave. But the monthly cost for parking is enough to put you in your grave. You can flake on your assignments to the chairman of the board, but you'll have to work on the weekends to accommodate the overlords. It'll pay for the latest phones and my wife's pedicured toes. And we'll party in the Poconos. I was called up early, but they left me to my own device. It was disconcerting when it led me to my own demise. Fed me to the vipers amongst the others rotting in the cave. How quickly we can go from master to the slave. It's the calm down we all know when the lawyers have been bought and sold and the diners are all closed and your kids become your foes and there's nothing left to put up your nose and the hunger only grows and grows and grows and grows and we'll party in the Poconos.
I do believe I've heard that one before too.
Yeah, I mean, you
I
know,
guess I've
sometimes
caught-
you're the only one standing there when I'm playing. So
Huh?
sometimes you're the only one standing there when I'm playing.
I guess I've caught more of your shows than I thought.
Yeah, you're one of my top 5 fans, and that's just because you booked me. Yes, yes, indeed.
Hey,
All
I
right,
try to get out and see people that
Ralph.
I didn't book too. You know.
Ralph, you're an incredible support for this community and for the musicians. And I mean, I've leaned on you for gigs in this area since moving here, um, and not just that, but the Voices of the Valley and this Rock in the Valley stuff, and putting together the uh, the 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 entertainment for the music for the Luckenbach Mill and all the Christmas in the Quarter stuff. Um, I'm lucky to know you, man, and I'm grateful for it. I thank you.
I appreciate that. I just, I enjoy being a part of the music community, and obviously, I love playing out.
I
I love doing my own shows, but
Yeah,
you
I
know,
miss running India at open mics. I mean, when are the like we got everybody's got to get vaccinated so we can go back to the open mics.
yeah, yeah. It's funny because I didn't really even pre-COVID. I wasn't really going to that many open mic nights. So the number of times that we ran into each other at an open mic night
Well, it
was
was
kind of
always that one. It was always that good spot,
yeah, that's true.
and we
Which
don't
is
go there anymore, right?
right. No, we
We
don't.
don't go there anymore.
No, nobody goes there anymore.
Those
Um,
bastards.
yeah, exactly. Well, that's another subject for another day. But yeah, and and then especially when I started running my own open mic night at Cave Brewing Company, it was that was enough of the open mic scene for me. Um, and a lot of it was when I wasn't playing out on a consistent basis, I was going to a lot of open mic nights just to try out new songs and hey, I just wrote this last week, so I'm going to try this out at this open mic night and whatever. But once I started playing out on a fairly regular basis a few years ago, I stopped going to the open mic nights.
Yeah, well, if you don't need to go hit open mic, you don't go hit open mic. I mean, it's usually like a weeknight, and a lot of I don't know. I go to bed early on weeknights, so
Yeah,
um, but it's a part of of be of the hustle. It's a part of the hustle, right?
right.
So like, when I first moved over the river to this area, it was like I think I played an open mic at Godfrey Daniels, and I was like, what do you got to do? And they were like, you got to go to all the open mics. You got to go hit the open mics, and then you can start getting the gigs. And so I was able to do that a little bit, and met you and got some gigs through you, and got some gigs through that place we were playing it there. I had this great gig scheduled for all of 2020. Um, I'm a cigar smoker. I love tobacco, and for better or for worse. And so it was around October of 2019 that I got booked to play every month at Leaf Restaurant in Easton,
Yeah,
which is connected to Famous, and it's a great place to play if you can handle the smoke. And so for me, it's a great place to play where I can smoke and play. And I think I played one gig. So January of 2020, we had snow one weekend that screwed everybody up, and the place shut down that weekend. Then I went and played there in February for my February date, and that was it. I was supposed to play 12 gigs at that place this year, and now I'm going to be clawing to try to get that attention from them for 2021 because it
yeah,
never happened. And for all I know, they've forgotten about me and half of everybody else that they had on the
yeah.
schedule there. But that's a fun place to play if you can handle the lack of oxygen.
Right. Yeah. Hey, I could handle it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
I mean, I smoke too much as it is, so I
Yeah.
guess breathing in a little secondhand smoke while I'm playing.
Right. Well, and it's like, then it depends on how you feel about cigars too. But for me, it was like, it was just a great deal. And I could go in and they'd give me a cigar when I got there, and I'd bring a bunch of cigars. I'd smoke cigars while I play. It's so much fun. So much fun.
My brother is a huge cigar smoker. He loves his cigars, and whenever I go visit him, it's like got to smoke a cigar with him. And to be honest with you, I really don't like them at all.
Ah,
But it's
fair
like,
enough.
but you know,
It's an acquired taste and it's
Right.
personal.
he hands me a cigar, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm smoking this. You know, my problem is, since I smoke cigarettes, I have a tendency to inhale the cigar.
Oh yeah, no, that's a bad idea.
That's a big no-no. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, and then I realized, well, I'm turning green. Maybe this isn't a good idea. You know.
No,
But-
yeah, you don't want to do that. That's it.
And one of his favorite places to hang out at is this really cool cigar bar. I think it's in Tarpon Springs. My brother lives right outside of Tampa, and I think it's in Tarpon Springs. Don't know the name of it, but place is great, and I actually enjoy going there with him. Just don't enjoy smoking a cigar, but somebody else smoking one around me doesn't bother me.
Okay.
It's more the taste that I don't like. I actually kind of like the smell. I just don't like the taste. But anyhow, to each his own.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I can handle it because, like I said, I like the smell, but just never acquired a taste for them. So.
Right on.
Yeah,
More music?
a beer club membership. Hey, did you see that in the chat? Yeah, we should start a beer club membership or a beer mug membership.
A beer mug membership.
Yeah, a beer mug club. For our viewers that like to drink beer, get a beer mug with your favorite brewery logo on one side and the Rock in the Valley logo on the other side. And then you can hang out and drink a few beers with us while you're watching the shows. So, and we do have shows every night of the week, Monday through Friday. So if you check rockinthevalley.com, you'll see a whole list of shows. And normally in this spot is Whip It Out Wednesday with the Lehigh Valley Angel, but he gave me her spot so that we could get Michael back in here. With a
Hey,
quickness
thanks,
after.
Ange.
Angie's
Thank
awesome.
you.
She is awesome. And as it worked out, hey, we got you a doubleheader. So
I know. It's full on 2 hours of Michael Reisman.
yeah, and hey, a little bit of props for pronouncing your name right.
Yeah, thanks for getting it right, Ralph. Ralph, so my friends call me Bongo, and you're welcome to call me Bongo too. My wife calls me Bongo. My friends have been calling me Bongo for 30 years, so it's just another nickname. But anyway,
I will forever remember the very first time I ever introduced you
at Blackberry Fest.
at the Blueberry Festival.
Blueberry Fest.
Right.
Blueberry Fest.
And Seth Witcher was talking about how people never pronounced his
name
properly.
correctly. And then you went up there and called me
and I
Reisman,
said,
like my gym
yeah.
teacher.
Yeah. And I'm like, and next up is Michael Reisman. By the way, Ralph, it's Reisman. Oh, yeah. It's like, I never get anybody's name wrong.
Look, it's happened to every member of my family since we got off the boat at Ellis Island. So don't worry about it. Don't sweat it.
I thought it was
Everybody
funny.
does
It was like, I'm like, how can anybody mispronounce that name? I mean, And then I get up there and mispronounce yours. So and then I felt like this big, and but I have forever remembered how to pronounce it since then. So.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and my mother thanks you as well.
What do you got for us next?
This is a song off of the first Acoustic Mayhem album, Jersey City. This song is called "The Lawyer of Diminishing Returns." This is another relationship song. The wind is blowing cold today, and summertime is gone. And maybe the moon was full last night, or maybe I'm wrong. It takes years to build a life that's true, and moments just to tear it down. And And that's about how long it takes me to kick your feet off the tender, steady ground. Well, who invited the demons to dinner? And who served them Italian cuisine? And who let the bishop show up to work in his dirty dungarees? And which things did you say were true? And what did you say that was false? And what crazy image did you conjure to mind that made you put your fist through the wall? Well, give me a minute just to think it through. Your questions are points of concern. I've got to deal with the consequence of the laws of diminishing returns. Is it the harder you try, the more you fail? Or does practice take you to where you realize it's the holes where you find some improvisation there? Well, I've been pacing around here all day, and you wonder why I'm so tense. The more you teach me about myself, the less it all seems to make any sense. Well, give me a minute just to think it through and figure out what I can learn. Climbing a lifetime, rising above the laws of diminishing returns. You worry about the danger. You worry about the cost. Did you think you wouldn't have to pay to get lost? So let's stop talking about this hate affair and do something else instead. Put on in a silent way and get into bed. And maybe tomorrow it'll be okay. Or maybe we'll just crash and burn. But that's what you get for going to bed with the lawyer of diminishing returns. 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 When the morning brings nothing but a teardrop, and the peasants, they all like to complain, and some other mama's man wants to take you by the hand, it's enough to drive a lady insane. Well, your mama doesn't want you to be lonely, sugar, and your daddy, he's worried about you too. And that slow boat to China, it ain't coming to find you. Well, I hate to be the one to spread the news. Oh, we got a bigger fish to fry. Darling, we got a bigger fish to fry. Well, there ain't no need to sit and watch the paint dry. 'Cause you and I, well, it's breaking your heart and it's bringing you down. But you put it back together piece by piece. Well, he's sitting there staring, and you're tired of sharing. You gotta rip that Band-Aid off his little knee. Oh no, it ain't because of me. I'm as sure as I can be. I can tell by the look in your eye that no matter how hard we wish, not much more can come of this. But that don't mean we don't give it a try. No, we got a bigger fish to fry. Darling, we got a bigger fish to fry. Well, there ain't no need to sit and watch the paint dry, 'cause you and I, when there's a breakdown in communication and the train seems to be coming off the tracks, you just think of that little boy in that film we both enjoyed, and that cracker smile is sure to come back. Oh no, it ain't because of me, I'm as sure as I can be. I can tell by the look in your eye that no matter how hard we wish, not much more can come of this. But that don't mean we don't give it a try. No, we got a bigger fish to fry. Darling, we got a bigger fish to fry. Well, there ain't no need to sit and watch the paint dry, 'cause you and I got bigger fish to fry. Bigger fish to fry. Darling, we got a bigger fish to fry. Well, there ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe, 'cause you and I, Ralph, you and I.
Awesome.
You
Little
got
medley.
a twofer.
Yeah.
You got a twofer there.
Cool.
Yes. So that
And
was
they're
the
both off the first Acoustic Mayhem album?
No, so Lawyer of Diminishing Returns is off the first Acoustic Mayhem album, and Fish to Fry is off of my solo album, introducing Michael Reisman.
Cool.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
And once again, for those of you who are just joining us, we are celebrating the release of Acoustic Mayhem's new album, Miller Hill, which is available at Bandcamp at acousticmayhem.bandcamp.com.
And that is a pre-order, right? Because it's not released yet, or is it released?
The CD is a pre-order, but you can go ahead and you can purchase the.
You can purchase the download.
You can purchase the download. If you purchase the CD, you get the download. And if you're still on the fence about it, they'll let you listen to it a few times before they put the kibosh on you and make you spend money.
Cool.
Bandcamp is amazing.
Yeah.
They're just amazing.
Yeah. And I try to been trying to get everybody to take advantage of Bandcamp Fridays each month, and haven't gotten a whole lot of response, but got a few people to respond. And so I posted their links.
Yeah, it's a tough racket, right? It's just a hard sell.
I'll make sure you get your link in there the next time too. They're not doing it in January.
No.
But then they're picking it up again in February. So, and for those viewers who don't know what Bandcamp Friday is, ever since the pandemic hit, once a month, on the first Friday of every month, Bandcamp waives all of their sharing fees. So the artist gets to keep almost all of their money. And when I say almost, if you buy an album from Bandcamp, the artist keeps about 82% of the money. So, because there's fees that we pay Bandcamp to sell the album for us, and then there's fees that we have to pay whoever it is that processes the payment, whether it be Venmo or PayPal or whatever. And the fees all vary depending on who you use, if you're using your own bank, whatever. But Bandcamp waives their fees. So the artist keeps 94% as opposed to 82%. Mm-hmm. And that may not seem like a whole lot, but to us right now, as we struggle through these times where we can't play out as much as we'd like, or even at all, every penny counts. So
every penny counts, and that's why even if you're not waiting around for even if you don't want to wait around for Bandcamp Friday, if you want to support local artists that you appreciate, that you like, or you just want to be a patron of the arts in your community, purchasing purchasing a CD. I know CDs are kind of in this like technology limbo right now.
Yeah.
Like I actually had a good buddy the other day say, how come, this is what he said, this is great, and if he listens to this he's gonna bust my balls, but he says how come you're doing a CD and you're not doing vinyl? It seems kind of archaic. I was like, do you read the text that you just sent me?
Ah.
He said,
Yeah.
it seems kind of antiquated. I'm like, so, you know, it's insane how much it costs to put an album out on vinyl right now.
Right. It's
Not if you have
absolutely ridiculous.
It's expensive. Who's it expensive for? It's expensive for me because I
Right.
don't have a legion of followers of audiophiles who are ready to throw $50 down on an LP. For those
Right.
folks, it's worth it. But those
Yeah.
folks are in studios recording a 1-inch tape, right? And
Uh-huh.
and good for them. And for sure, that is definitely the preferred method of recording music, especially like good rock and roll, right? Record it to 1-inch tape, pay somebody to mix it, pay somebody to master it, and shell out the money for the big record and sell it to all your audiophile friends. But when you're me, right, and you're making records in this 6x7 home office, right, and you're sending MP3 mixes around on email to your friends in Tucson and Pittsburgh, right, or Seattle, and asking them to lay tracks for you. I mean, we're talking about a completely, albeit lossless, digital record, digital album. And so, if you want to have something that you hold in your hand that is an artifact of your support of local music and the local artistry, then you got to throw the $12 at the band on Bandcamp and get your CD in the mail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. It doesn't hurt. Now it's funny. I mean, obviously, when you're producing your own music, you're your own producer. You don't have a manager or whatever or a record label. You're your own record label. Even though the album's not released, I've sold a couple CDs at shows, and I've had the people that bought the CDs. I've said, look, you know what? Don't pay me now. Go to Bandcamp on Bandcamp Friday. Buy the digital download. You have the CD. And, I get to keep all the money then anyway. But then you get the digital download as well. Because a lot of people don't even have the capability of putting a CD on their computer. And the couple of people that have done that, some people are like, nah, I'm just going to give you the money now. That's fine. But the couple of people who have done that actually paid double asking for it on Bandcamp because there's that option. Pay what you want. And,
right. Yeah.
So I actually made out on the deal. So nothing wrong with that, I guess.
You're a solid businessman, Ralph.
Yeah, there's nobody nobody around nobody around to keep me from selling the CD early, right? So, and after Friday, 2 more days, it'll be a moot point anyway. So, but yeah, Bandcamp Friday. If any of you know musicians that are on Bandcamp and like their music and want to help them out, obviously buy it now. It's Christmas time and they can use the money, I'm sure. But if you want to hold off, or if somebody comes out with something new the end of January, beginning of February, wait till Bandcamp Friday to buy it. And it's the first Friday of every month. And then the artist keeps 94%, which is so much better than 82%.
For real. Are we getting towards the end of our time, Ralph?
Yeah, I think we got time for one more song.
All right, I'm gonna do.
And then a quick tap.
I'm gonna do. All right, I'm gonna do a. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get a twofer in. Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Is it all right if we run over a skosh?
Oh, geez. I don't know. I might have to sell my firstborn for that extra time, but yeah, we
How
can run
many
over.
kids do you have?
Too many to mention. No, I have 6.
You have 6 children?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
yes,
God bless you, Ralph.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah. No, I would not trade any one of them for the world. I really wouldn't. Was it easy? No, absolutely not. But 6 of the most wonderful children anybody could ever possibly hope for. And, I wouldn't trade any one of them. So
I'm sure they're very glad to know that.
Yeah, I am blessed to have 6.
Did you hear that, Ralph's kids?
Children.
He would not trade any of you for a record deal.
Wait a minute, a record deal, mate? No, I'm kidding.
I love it. I love it. All right, so I'm gonna do one off the new Mayhem record, and this one is for my wife. I wrote this song for her years ago when we first got together, and I wanted to impress her country music loving father. Um, and this is the first time we've ever really arranged it for an album, and it sounds so good. It features my buddy, a guitar player out in Seattle named Brian, and his wife Annelia she sings backup vocals, and then my boy Chester Cates, who is a brilliant piano player in Tucson. He played the piano on it. If you go to Bandcamp, acousticmayhem.bandcamp.com right now, you can go. It's track 8. It's called Beautiful. A lot. Whoa. Well, I known a lot of saints and fallen angels, a coventry of witches held my soul. I gazed at the horizon through delusion, but never found a partner with whom I could grow old. A man like me ain't easy to get along with. I'm stubborn and I'm angry and I'm right. I got lots to say and sometimes I don't listen. But I need your arms to hold me in the dead of the night. You're so beautiful all of the time, and you radiate a warmth from deep inside. You make me feel so glad to be alive. You're so beautiful, and you changed my life. They say writing songs like fishing, so is loving. All the lovers and the songs are out at sea. You never fish downstream from Bobby Dylan or Ralph Pagano, but I ain't thrown my line out since you swam to me. You're so beautiful, you turn me on, and we shake the western hills from dusk till dawn. You inspired me to write a country song. You're so beautiful, and I'm so far gone. Well, it seems we've come so far in such a short while, and I've foreseen it all from day one on. We travel step by step and hand in hand, and give each other strength to move along. You're so beautiful all of the time. You radiate a warmth from deep inside. You make me feel so glad to be alive. You're so beautiful, and you changed my life. I said you make me feel so glad to be alive. You're so beautiful, and you changed my life. I'll take you out with an old Acoustic Mayhem song. This is called There's Somebody Knocking on the Door, Mary Lou. Pure fiction, people, pure fiction. There's somebody knocking on the door, Mary Lou. Do you think that you can answer it for me? It could be the policeman, but they know I live with you. Won't you tell them I'm at work at the factory? There's somebody knocking on the door, Mary Lou. Won't you find out who it is? Who could it be? I'll be hiding in the outhouse with my grandpa Abraham. If you're buying, I'm not paying to be free. Well, I was never the criminal kind. I'd always been a sucker for the high. But once the deal of a lifetime came around, I couldn't let the chance just pass me by. So I hustled and I muscled. I got everything in place, all the pickups and the drop-offs, and they never saw my face. But someone got unlucky and the deal went awry. They took me down and now I'm out on bail. But I gotta move this shit before they send me back to jail. There's somebody knocking on the door, Mary Lou. Do you think that you can answer it for me? It could be the policeman, for they know I live with you. Won't you tell them I'm at work at the factory? There's somebody knocking on the door, Mary Lou. Won't you find out who it is? Who could it be? I'll be hiding in the outhouse with my grandpa Abraham. If you're buying, I'm not paying to be free. Just think of all the things we could do with all that cash. Think of all the gear that I could buy. How easy it would be just to up and leave this town and never need a reason just to fly. Well, I wish that certain someone hadn't opened up his mouth. Stupid me just to think I might catch a break. Now knee deep in expenses and I haven't got the dough. And I've had all the cops that I can take. But there's 20 pounds under the floor and I can't leave the state. There's somebody knocking on the door, Mary Lou. Do you think that you can answer it for me? Could you answer it? It could be the policeman, but they know I live with you. Won't you tell them I'm at work at the factory? There's somebody knocking on the door, Mary Lou. Won't you find out who it is? Who could it be? I'll be hiding in the outhouse with my grandpa Abraham. If you're buying, I'm not paying to be free. I'll be hiding in the outhouse with my grandpa Abraham. If you're buying, hold on there, Ralph. I'm not paying to be, sing it with me, Ralph, free. Merry Christmas to you, and a happy 7th night of Hanukkah.
Awesome finale. Great stuff, man. Thank you so
Ralph.
much.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Angie.
Absolutely. Thank you.
No,
That
thank you
was
very much.
awesome. I have to say, I love the way that you write your stories and put those little hooks in your songs.
Oh, thank you
So
very much.
yes,
That's
I'm
kind
a
of you to say.
fan.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rockin' the Valley, for having me. I really appreciate it. This has been a really good time. Ralph, thank you so much.
Oh, it was a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming on. And um, maybe it was a blessing in disguise that we had to postpone the show a little bit because I think maybe we got a little bit more of a treat than we would have gotten that night. So,
Yeah, I got to
you
sing in
know,
your face for 2 whole hours.
I know, man, that was awesome. Was awesome. And if you stuck around for all 2 hours, both hours, whatever, all
Thank
two
you.
hours, thank you so much for sticking around. If you just joined us, around 8:45 when Mike was scheduled to go on, then thank you for tuning in then, and hope you enjoyed. If you missed the first hour of the show, you can always go to YouTube and you can either click on Rocking the Valley's YouTube channel and find the show in the archives, or if you just want an easier route to go, just go to Ralph Pagano Music on YouTube and click on my set list. It's the only set list on there, and it's all of the archive shows that I've done for Rockin' the Valley. And I'm not trying to direct you away from Rockin' the Valley's YouTube channel because there are shows on Rockin' the Valley every night of the week, Monday through Friday, and they're all archived there. You have to pick and choose which ones you want to go see, and there's plenty to look at there. So subscribe to both pages. When you just want to grab one of my shows, then you know where to find it. And if you want to see some of the other shows, then obviously they're on Rockin' the Valley, and they're going to be there forever. So again, thanks so much for joining in to this latest episode of Artist Showcase with Ralph. We will be back next Wednesday with Matt Deliker, and we will take the week off between Christmas and New Year's, and we'll kick off 2021 with, I do believe it's Ben Tyler. I'll double check that, but Matt Deliker next week, next Wednesday to wrap things up for 2020. And again, thanks so much for tuning into the show.
That was a fantastic show, guys. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I really did. I just wanted to pop in there and say thanks for coming on, Mike. Ralph, fantastic show. I normally don't like to pop in at the end, but I just wanted to tell you this is a great show. So, but I'm going to take you out here with your music, and here we go. And there's Angie with our crazy poster behind her. Okay, yep, that's our Christmas poster. That's the one where I threw everybody on it. So, I call that the shotgun poster. I'm pretty sure I got everyone on it. All right, so here we go. Ralph, Mike, we'll see you later. Merry Christmas to you guys. Push it again. Oh, it's giving me a problem. Give me a second.
Press the button, Steve.
I'm trying to push the button. This thing's being ornery. It happens when you try.
Yeah, use your fingers, Steve.
I know that. I'm giving it the finger. There it goes. It should go. A flawless show, and we end like this. There it goes.
You gotta keep the fire burning. Chase your dream, don't hesitate. Keep on dreaming, keep on yearning. Don't let the flame die while you wait.
He's got the drumsticks, not the bongos.